Hello everyone and welcome back to Almost There, a Twisted Tale here on Disney Magic Zach. This is episode 27. 85 cents a day, Tiana cried, to rent this rickety boat. I'll be lucky if it doesn't sink the moment I take it out on the water. She couldn't waste time haggling. She needed to leave out as soon as possible if she wanted to reach Mama Odie's before sundown. Otherwise she found herself trying to navigate these narrow bayou passages at night. But she was her daddy's daughter. She had to at least try to get the price down. I'll give you 50 cents and not a penny more, Tiana said. The grizzly fisherman moved his cigar from one side of his mouth to the other. 65, he counted. Fine, she said. She looked at the washed-up Pirogue with its warped, weather-worn planks. The chances were pretty high that this thing really would end up at the bottom of the bayou, especially if the thick blanket of algae covering the river had made it out of the swamps. The insidious green scum had even started to grow alongside of the post holding up the pier. There she is! Tiana whipped around the sound at Charlotte's voice. She caught sight of her friend traipsing around the thick fishing nets and ropes scattering along the busy pier. And she was wearing trousers, though she still looked completely out of place in a pink silk top with an embroidered collar and T-strap heels. Tiana peered at the figure coming up behind Charlotte and nearly tumbled off the pier. Goodness almighty! She'd brought Naveen with her. Charlotte the Buff, what is going on? Tiana hissed. I couldn't let you go out there all alone, Tia. Charlotte panted as she ran all the way from the Buff mansion. It's much too dangerous. Naveen are going with you. Hey, what y'all doing here? Tiana looked past Charlotte and Naveen to discover Lewis, heading towards them, carrying his ever-present trumpet. Was everyone she knew at the docks? I thought that was y'all, Lewis exclaimed in his boisterous voice. What are y'all doing here? What are you doing here, my friend? Naveen gestured to the trumpet in Lewis's hand. Entertaining the fishermen? I come out here to play every now and again. I like being close to the water. He looked at Tiana. Y'all going somewhere? I am, Tiana said quickly. We're going to get help from a lady who lives in the swamp, Charlotte insisted. Y'all going to Mama Odie? Lewis asked excitedly. How does everyone know about this Mama Odie except me? Charlotte asked. Can I come with y'all? Lewis asked. I was telling Tiana just the other day that I haven't been home. Excuse us for a moment, Tiana said, cutting Lewis off before he revealed that more than he should. She grabbed Charlotte by the arm and dragged her several feet away. Charlotte the Buff, what in the world is going on? I told you, Tia. It's too dangerous for you to go out there alone. There are gators and snakes and who knows what else lurking out there in the bayou. Besides, I told you I missed you. This may not be a Mardi Gras ball, but we'll be spending time together. Tiana was baffled. And just what do you plan to do if I get tapped by a snake? Beat it with that parasol? She asked, pointing to the dainty satin and lace umbrella hanging from Charlotte's wrist. And you brought Naveen? I figured he could help protect us. Charlotte plopped her hand on her hip. You may not think you need a strong man around. You'll think differently if we get attacked by gators. Gators? What you say over there? What you say over there about gators? Nothing, Lewis. Tiana called over her shoulder. She turned back to Charlotte. Look, I don't have enough room in the boat for all of you to come with me. We'll just need a bigger boat, her friend said, as if her words were final. She looked at little Pirogue Tiana and just paid her hard-earned money to pay rent. I'm not sure this would have gotten you very far anyway. Charlotte waved her hand in the air as if she was hailing a taxicab. Oh, fisherman! We'll need to rent a bigger boat. Something with a cover if you have it. Tiana dropped her head back and looked up at the sky. There were no answers raining down on her from above. She followed Charlotte back to where a collection of boats for rent were lined up against the dock. None of these look very accommodating, Charlotte told the fisherman. Do you have anything bigger? It's the bayou, Lottie. So as you can take the steamboat Natchez through those narrow canals or underneath those low-hanging branches. Charlotte tipped her head to the side, an inquisitive dip to her brow. Since when did you learn so much about the bayou? You hardly ever leave the city. I've heard things. Tiana stumbled over her words. She couldn't very well tell Lottie about her previous trip to Mama Odie's. The fishermen are always talking about it when I come down to the pier to buy fish for the restaurant. Can we just pick them out and get on with it? Tiana asked, changing the subject. We're losing daylight. I want to get to where I'm going before nightfall. Where exactly on the bayou are you going? Naveen asked. Goosebumps popped up along Tiana's arms at the sound of his deep voice. She closed her eyes for a brief moment in an effort to collect herself. Dancing at a picnic was one thing. Being confined to a small boat with Naveen for hours, that was a decidedly different thing. It's kind of hard to explain, Tiana said before quickly moving away from him. She walked over to where the fisherman and Charlotte were looking at a set of gleaming mahogany wood runabouts. Tiana didn't want to even think about how much it would cost to rent one of those. She spotted a boat a few feet down the pier. It looked a bit worse for the wear, but it was big enough for all of them, and its flat bottom was narrow enough not to give her a pause. at the thought of flowing water were other shallow waters they might find. "We'll take this one," Tiana told the fisherman. "That one?" Charlotte screeched. "I don't... You want to come along, you come in this boat," Tiana told her. She turned her attention back to the fisherman. "Can you have this ready to go in the next 10 minutes? The man tipped his tattered cap to her. "That I can do," Tiana replied with a firm nod. She hefted the linen sack she'd brought with her and realized that the few provisions she'd thrown in there during a quick trip back to the house wouldn't nearly be enough food for 4. She turned to her motley crew and pointed just past the dock to the French market. "I'm going over to those stores to get more supplies. Be ready to get going when I return." As she made her way to the market, Tiana tried to come up with answers to the inevitable questions Charlotte and Naveen would have. How was she supposed to explain her relationship with a 200-year-old voodoo woman living in a treehouse in the bayou? "You'll figure it out," she said underneath her breath. In the market, she bought bananas, apple, pears, dried figs, along with several fresh loaves of French bread. She'd find a way to make the canned sardines and beans she'd taken from home stretch between the 4 of them. Tiana was scooping shelled pecans into a small sack when she noticed Miss Rose walking up to her. "Hi, Tiana," Miss Rose greeted her. "Hey there, Miss Rose." Tiana tied off the sack of pecans with twine and handed it to the vendor to weigh. "I would love to chat, but you're in a rush," the woman finished for her. "You're taking a boat ride?" Tiana's brows arched. "Yes," she said. "How did you know?" Miss Rose jutted her chin towards the water. "I saw you on my daily walk along the dock." Tiana wasn't sure why anyone would choose the pungent docks to take a stroll, but it wasn't a concern right now. "Well, I better get going," she said, hefting the bag with her purchase higher on her shoulder. "Where are you headed?" Miss Rose asked. To see a friend." It was what she'd told her parents, and she had gone back to the house to gather supplies. "She lives on the bayou." "That's a long way to go see a friend," Miss Rose said. "She's, special," Tiana said, "and I really need to see her as soon as possible." Miss Rose nodded slowly. "Well, before you go, I have something for you." She reached into a bag she always carried with her. She took Tiana's hand and placed a pewter brooch shaped like a rose in its centre. "Oh," Tiana said, unsure exactly why the woman was giving her such a lovely piece of jewellery, especially when she knew Tiana was on her way to the swamps. "This is quite beautiful," she said. "Maybe you should hold on to it until I get back from my trip." "No." Miss Rose closed Tiana's fingers over the brooch. "Take it with you. Maybe pin it to your shirt." Tiana looked down at her coveralls. This brooch was inappropriate as Lottie's dainty parasol and heels, but Tiana didn't have time to argue. "Thank you." "Be careful," Miss Rose told her. She glanced up at the sky. "It's quite a storm coming." She brought her gaze back to Tiana's. "It's been brewing for a while." Something in the woman's tone, in that piercing, intense look in her eyes, and the hair on the back of Tiana's neck stand on end. Tiana quickened her steps and tried to shake off the strange feeling suddenly prickling her skin. She looked up at the sky and even through the fog could see the voluminous storm clouds building. She needed to get to Mama Odie's before the sky ripped open on all of them.